Okay, so we're diving into the world of ICT technicians this time around. Keeping everyone connected one Ethernet cable at a time.
Yeah.
And you were smart enough to share some potential interview questions with us.
Right.
And let me tell you, this deep dive is going to be good.
Absolutely.
We're not just going over the basics. We're talking like insider tips.
Yeah.
Thanks to some fascinating insights we got from the RoleCatcher system.
It's really amazing what we can learn from the data they've compiled on, actual ICT technician interviews.
Yeah.
Not to mention the career path predictions they're making.
Exactly. And so instead of just generic advice,
Right.
we're getting like hyper-specific for your interview.
I love it.
You ready to impress some recruiters?
Let's do this.
All right. First question they might throw at you.
Okay.
Describe your experience with troubleshooting computer hardware and software issues.
Classic.
Right.
It is a classic, and it's such a great chance to show you're not just like a parts replacer.
Right. You're a problem solver.
Totally.
The career guide actually highlighted this trend toward ICT technicians needing like a broader understanding of entire system.
Which makes sense because you can't fix a printer issue if you don't know how it's talking to the network.
Precisely.
Right.
So when you answer this question, don't just list off things you fixed.
Right.
Tell a story.
Oh, I like that.
Remember that time the office Wi-Fi went down? Everyone panicked.
Oh, yeah.
And you figured out it was a simple router reboot. Yep. That's gold.
Yeah. And it shows you can stay calm under pressure, which is huge.
Huge.
And it's like that point in the interview guide about dealing with frustrated users.
Oh, totally.
Like, you're not just fixing tech.
Right.
You're managing people's stress levels, too.
It's all connected.
Okay, next question you sent over. How do you stay up to date with the latest ICT trends and technologies?
Yes.
This one's all about showing you're not going to be left behind as technology evolves. Absolutely, because let's be real, the tech world,
it moves fast.
It moves so fast.
Yeah.
Now, this is where RoleCatcher's AI
Okay.
can be super helpful.
Yeah.
It can actually analyze your current skills and the job descriptions you're interested in, and then recommend relevant courses or certifications.
Wow.
It's like having a personalized tech advisor in your pocket.
So smart.
Right.
But even beyond specific courses, like just mentioning that you're an active user of RoleCatcher.
Yes.
Shows you're engaged with the industry.
It shows you're in the know.
Right.
And don't forget about those tech blogs you follow.
Oh, yeah.
The online forums where you geek out, even just like tinkering in your home lab.
Right.
All of that shows you're passionate and curious.
Okay, next question you flagged.
Okay.
Describe your experience with network infrastructure setup and maintenance.
Okay.
This one feels big.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But, even if you haven't managed like a massive corporate network, you can still shine here. Did you ever set up a home Wi-Fi network?
Yeah.
Or help a friend with theirs?
That's a great point, actually.
Yeah.
Because it shows you understand the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Even on a smaller scale.
And the career guide actually mentioned that home networks are getting surprisingly complex these days.
Oh, totally. With all the smart devices and
streaming and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So talk about those experiences. What kind of router did you use? Did you have to troubleshoot any connectivity issues?
Right.
Did you set up any parental controls or security settings?
Yeah.
The more detail you can provide, the better.
I like it.
Nice.
Okay, this next question that you sent over is really interesting.
Okay.
How do you ensure the security of sensitive data on a network?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's like
getting at some...
They're testing your inner digital bodyguard.
Right, and it's not just about knowing the difference between a firewall and antivirus software anymore.
This is about demonstrating a security mindset.
So what are they really looking for in an answer there?
I think, think about it this way.
Okay.
Even with home networks getting more complex, like we talked about, the interview guide specifically mentioned that, most people still totally neglect basic security.
Which is kind of terrifying.
It's true.
When you think about it.
Yeah, so when you answer this question, show them you're not most people.
Okay.
Right? Talk about strong passwords, two-factor authentication.
Right.
Even if you've only implemented these for yourself or helped family members set them up, those small steps demonstrate that you understand the importance of data security, even outside of a corporate environment.
And again, it shows you're thinking about it.
Exactly.
Not just waiting for someone to tell you what to do.
And this is where I think RoleCatcher gets really interesting.
Okay. Yep.
Their AI can actually analyze specific job descriptions and tell you what kind of security certifications are most valued in your field.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's like,
that's cool.
It's like having this personalized roadmap.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
I'm sold on RoleCatcher.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the interview prep, though.
Right.
What's the next question we should tackle?
All right, let's talk about programming.
Okay.
You sent over this one. What programming languages are you proficient in?
Which makes sense because so much of tech these days relies on some level of coding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And while not every ICT technician role requires you to be like a coding whiz,
Right.
having some experience definitely gives you an edge.
For sure.
Right, because it shows you can potentially like build or customize solutions.
Totally.
Not just troubleshoot existing ones.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Now, don't panic if you're not fluent in like a dozen languages.
Right.
Be honest about your skill level. If you're a beginner, highlight your eagerness to learn. Mention any relevant courses you've taken or anything like that.
Right.
And if you've got some coding chops, don't be shy.
Yeah.
Talk about personal projects, open source contributions, anything that shows you can walk the walk.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on to a question about a technology that's becoming increasingly important.
Okay.
Even at the ICT technician level, and that is virtualization.
Okay.
You asked about this one. Describe your experience with virtualization technologies.
And I have to admit, this one sounds a little intimidating to me.
It can be a little bit, but remember, they're not expecting you to be like a virtualization expert at this stage.
Right.
What they're looking for is awareness and a willingness to learn.
So even if you haven't managed large-scale virtualization deployments, just like understanding the basics could give you a leg up.
Exactly. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI, I think, can really shine.
Okay.
Their system can analyze job descriptions and tell you which specific virtualization skills are most in demand for that particular role.
Oh, wow.
So it's like
having a crystal ball.
It's true.
For your career.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So even if you're not a virtualization guru yet,
right,
you can still show the interviewer that you understand its importance and that you're actively learning about it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Dude.
Let's shift gears slightly.
Okay.
And talk about keeping those systems up and running smoothly.
Okay.
You sent over this question. How do you ensure the uptime and availability of critical systems?
Right.
So this is all about showcasing your proactive approach to IT.
Oh, okay. So instead of just reacting to problems, you're like actively preventing them.
Precisely.
I like that.
Right. It's like that saying.
Yeah.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Right.
But for computers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So think about, routine checks.
Okay.
Software updates. Data backups. All those things that kind of keep the digital ship sailing smoothly.
I like that.
And if you've ever gone above and beyond in this area, like setting up automated alerts, creating detailed documentation, now's the time to mention it. Because it shows you're not just like keeping things afloat.
Right.
You're optimizing for peak performance.
That kind of initiative, I feel like, is just pure gold.
Oh, yeah.
In the eyes of a hiring manager.
For sure.
Okay, what about cloud computing, though? Because that feels like
It's a whole other
beast.
The vast and ever-evolving field.
Yeah.
But you were smart to flag this question.
Okay.
Describe your experience with cloud computing technologies.
Yeah, because even at the ICT technician level, having some cloud knowledge, I feel like, is becoming more and more valuable.
It's becoming essential because as more and more businesses are moving to the cloud, even basic familiarity with cloud storage solutions or cloud security principles can really give you an advantage.
For sure.
And again, it circles back to that idea of, continuous learning.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, you can't just like rest on your laurels in the tech world.
Absolutely not. The tech world is all about constantly learning and growing.
Totally.
Now, you also asked about a question related to a really crucial soft skill.
Okay.
And that is time management.
Right.
The question was, how do you prioritize and manage your workload?
Okay.
Now, this might seem less technical.
Right.
But it's incredibly important for ICT technicians who are often juggling like multiple tasks and deadlines.
Oh, totally. Because when the help desk tickets are piling up and the email alerts are going crazy, you need like a system for staying on top of it all.
Absolutely. You need a system.
So how do you actually convince them, you're the king or queen of organization?
Yeah. You don't just say, I'm organized.
Right.
You've got to show them.
Yeah.
Right. So do you use a task management app?
Okay.
Like a color-coded spreadsheet? maybe even just good old-fashioned to-do lists, but with like military precision.
I love that military precision to-do list.
Whatever your method is, the key is to demonstrate that you have a system and that you can adapt and reprioritize when those inevitable fire drills pop up. Because let's face it, in IT, something is always on fire.
So, so we've covered a ton of ground here.
We have.
From troubleshooting like hardware and software to navigating the wild world of cloud computing and virtualization.
It's a lot.
But before we wrap up this deep dive, I feel like there's one more essential ingredient to like acing this interview.
I'm listening.
Okay, now you've got me intrigued. What's the secret ingredient?
Passion.
Uh-huh.
Genuine, infectious enthusiasm for all things tech.
Okay.
Like, remember, interviewers aren't just looking for someone who can do the job.
Right.
They're looking for someone who loves the job.
That's such a good point.
So let that excitement shine through in your answers. You know, talk about the projects you've enjoyed, the technologies that get you fired up, your desire to keep learning and growing in this field.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like the career guide mentioned, the ICT landscape is constantly changing.
All the time.
So the people who thrive are the ones who are, like, genuinely curious and excited to see what's next.
Precisely. And that kind of enthusiasm. It's contagious.
It is.
And it can be the difference between a good interview and a great one.
100%. Okay, so to recap.
Yes.
We've broken down some of the toughest ICT technician interview questions. We've shared insider tips from the RoleCatcher system.
Yes.
And we even uncovered, like, the secret ingredient to interview success.
The secret sauce.
Unbridled tech passion.
Here it is.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher can be your secret weapon.
Yes.
This whole time, from tailoring your CV to practicing your answers with AI feedback.
It's incredible.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
For sure.
Seriously. RoleCatcher sounds like a game changer.
It's a game changer.
Okay, listener, you've got this.
You got this.
With your skills, your preparation, and that, like, infectious tech enthusiasm, you're going to rock that interview.
We're rooting for you.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive into the world of ICT technician interviews.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. Good luck out there.